Hello everyone and welcome to QUTV News. I'm Jack Weiss. With the semester coming to a close, be sure to plan ahead for finals. QU has also recognized important members in and around campus at a luncheon.
And I'm Tyler Menendez. There's a leadership breakfast hosted with guest speakers. QU hosts a week to make the campus more inclusive, and that's where we start today. To celebrate Social Justice Week, Quincy University offered a variety of student events. It allowed students to learn the history of other cultures. It also connected them with peers within a different community. QUTV's Kylie Grover takes us to some of the events.
Annually, Quincy University hosts Social Justice Week to encourage students to engage with the topics of race, class, and gender on campus.
I really like Social Justice Week because I feel that it is bringing more diversity and education to the school, and I like to interact with different things on campus as well as experience these experiences of learning about social justice within the Quincy community.
This year, the Social Justice Week events included a Black History Mobile Museum, an international student meeting, a lunch and learn about Islam, and more.
Social Justice Week has brought a diversity of events on campus for students. Some students feel that it was very beneficial to them and their community.
On Monday, we have this first meeting with the international people in this school. We're not so many of us, but there is so many international in our school. And I think that was very useful because we come out with so many things that I think that are very good for the people that are now here, and they will arrive here in the future, because in Quincy there is a big community of international people.
Students say Social Justice Week has helped them learn things they would have never come across on their own, and they hope for more events like this in the future. Kylie Grover, QUTV, Quincy.
With the attendance of international students growing, this helps them feel more welcome. Just this past Monday, Quincy University hosted its annual scholarship luncheon for the 2023-2024 school year. The event featured multiple guest speakers as well as some good music, good food, good conversation, and good eats. Pepsi Arena went from athletics to accolades for the luncheon this past Monday. Margaret Conroy, the scholarship representative speaker, shared with us how her father has influenced her love for education, writing the narrative for the event, gratitude and generosity.
Well, the Scholarship Luncheon is an opportunity each year to celebrate the many people over the course of generations who have generously given to Quincy University. They've given endowed and non-endowed scholarships so that students for generations to come can experience the benefit of this institution.
The annual Scholarship Luncheon is a great opportunity for scholarship donors to see where their money is going and how it's getting poured back into the Quincy community, as well as a chance for student recipients to say thank you.
Today I'm going to be talking about the opportunities that Quincy University has given me through the support of our donors and scholarships, like the opportunity to play sports and get a good nursing degree, and then FCA and getting to strengthen my relationship with God.
On top of all the great speakers who stepped up to the podium and provided the entertainment, Chartwell's helped provide a delicious meal for the luncheon, desserts included. This year's luncheon seemed like quite the success, and based off what you've just heard, Quincy University plans to make it one for years to come.
QU is hosting an annual breakfast every year. The event is known as the President's Leadership's Breakfast. Every year, they invite a guest speaker. The speaker shares their organization and how they've demonstrated leadership. QUTV's Tony Lundy has more.
The QU cafeteria is set up for its yearly leadership breakfast. President Brian McGee invited alumna Teresa Kettlecamp to guest speak for the university. During her time, she presented the community with stories and reflections of her work beyond her time here at QU.
This particular case with Ms. Kettlecamp, it wasn't difficult at all when we learned she was available. She's not only a distinguished alumna and former chair of our Board of Trustees, but she's had an astonishingly varied career and a long and distinguished life of service, which of course we learned today still continues.
Her audience consisted of many QU faculty and staff, along with friends and alumni of QU. She went over her journey and how she reached where she is today, and her stories in her career that she will never forget.
So during her speech, she passed out rose petals that related to one of the stories that she was telling previously, and she just had everybody in the crowd read them aloud and just share their thoughts.
The roses were brought to her through a mission statement, and she felt it was appropriate to share with the audience. She finished her speech with a few powerful statements and received a standing ovation.
I would like people to know there's power in prayer. That prayer really does work. And I think since faith is faith, and sometimes we don't immediately see the answer to prayer, we think it doesn't work. But I want them to realize prayer really works.
Teresa is leaving soon to go to Rome for her annual meeting with Pope Francis and the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors. She will continue her lifelong dedication to providing help for the youth. Tony Lundy, QUTV News, Quincy.
To have a chance to see one of the guest speakers, be sure to check your emails. Everyone is welcome to attend with a RSVP to advancement at quincy.edu. With finals approaching, everyone is preparing to ace their test. With only 1 week till finals, QUTV's Henry Balmer talks about the best study spots on campus.
Studying can be a difficult thing for all students to do. With finals approaching, everyone may be a little nervous and need to prepare in their own way. Some people study better with people, and some may like to be alone.
I like to study down here because it's nice and private and quiet, and it's closer than the SSC. It's in my own building. There's also just absolutely nobody around usually, so it's just really quiet and private space.
While some need to find places away from their rooms to study, others don't. Some may feel that their rooms are just the right spot to get to work.
I like to study in my room because I have my room to myself and it's peaceful and there's no one really to bother me and I can get my work done.
Now that finals is upon us, it is time for students to find their best study spots and put them to work, as we saw some people already have. Henry Balmer, QTV, Quincy.
A quiet environment allows you to minimize distractions, whether that is a cell phone, roommate, TV, or flashing lights. Students say the best way to succeed is to be organized, allowing yourself to stay on top of everything.
Man, I sure need to reserve my study spot on campus. Seems like they're running out pretty quick.
That doesn't surprise me. I guess everyone's just trying to prepare for their finals.
Absolutely.
Coming up, we talk about COVID-19 pandemic and how it affected communication. We also talk about trust in AI. All this coming up next.
Are you looking for a career that combines innovation, problem solving, and creativity? Quincy University's engineering degree program specializes in electrical and mechanical engineering, providing students with a well-rounded education with hands-on experience.
We're looking for exceptional engineering graduates with the skills necessary to take on the challenges of today.
Let Quincy University help you achieve your goal. Contact us today and we will design a success plan just for you.
Discover the opportunity to pursue your degree with Quincy University's Illinois Tuition Promise program. If you're eligible, you'll receive 100% coverage of tuition and books, making college affordable. We'll design a success plan just for you.
At Quincy University, your success is by design. Rooted in the Franciscan and Catholic tradition, QU has more than 50 academic programs that will set you up for success. We'll work together to design a plan just for you. Visit discover.quincy.edu to schedule your campus tour today.
The COVID-19 pandemic shut down the world in 2020. This disrupted everyday life, particularly in education. Schools were forced to transition to remote learning, impacting communication in the classroom. The pandemic made it harder for students to contact teachers. Lily Vardaman explains why her teachers didn't adapt well.
Because I would try to reach them through email or even their phone, and they would take hours or even days to respond about questions I had. And it was just frustrating because all my teachers would do that and I would feel like I fell behind in my classes.
With the new changes, the pandemic introduced Zoom to the educational world. This made it possible for face-to-face communication during remote learning.
Yes, in my school we used Zoom for all of my online classes, and my teachers used it effectively in a way that I didn't fall behind and I knew I could communicate with them.
But with the new technology, there was still a gap in communication. Some students struggled and some didn't. Junior Carly Schnepp talks about her experience.
It was kind of half and half. Sometimes it was hard to understand what assignments they wanted done when they were due, but it was kind of just depending on each teacher.
Every student had a different experience with their communication, whether it was a negative or a positive experience. The COVID-19 pandemic reshaped school communication. The impacts of the pandemic has helped educators and students prepare for another unexpected event, giving them the ability to learn from the mistakes and to better communication.
Artificial intelligence has been on many people's minds. With the ever-increasing list of functions that AI can perform, there's a lack of trust. More on this is QUTV's Wes Sheeler.
AI, artificial intelligence, the capability of computer systems or algorithms to imitate intelligent human behavior, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. AI exists in many programs with an increasing list of functions, but with this leap in progress, how much would people trust AI to use it?
I trust AI to an extent to where it is an extension of my work, to where it gives me a base to work from, but I will still take all of its information with a grain of salt. Well, AI can be used for coding. I like to use it to help me write out scripts or even just a general code, and also just give me a basis to work from.
With all the advantages and benefits to be had with an ever-improving AI, should there be any negative outcomes we should prepare for in the future?
Absolutely, because in today's world with AI and everything, including schools, if students continue to use AI instead of learning like the usual stuff like reading or writing, and they're going to struggle in the long run, because if they don't learn how to read or write like in their early years, like first grade or second grade or third grade, they're going to struggle in the long run, like, because they're going to probably have D's or F's, and they're not going to understand it because they didn't learn this when they were younger.
For some, the use of AI would require moderation. This is Wes Sheeler of QUTV News in Quincy.
AI can serve as both a benefit and a hindrance to the future of civilization, but with the ever-increasing uses, it seems AI will still be a service for many people in the near future. So I was in high school when COVID happened, so how was the communication around a college campus during that?
It was a little hard, obviously in college you have more of a responsibility and you're on your own, so it's kind of up to you. And some teachers it was good, but some it was bad, obviously, as everyone's first time dealing with it, but
depends on the teacher.
Yep. After the back and forth from heat and rain, Jake will have more on the weather, next on QUTV News.
It definitely started because we saw a need. We know that several students are facing housing insecurities, food insecurities, and just mental health is a rising concern. And so when this grant kind of came available, we were like, yeah, I think we want to kind of push into this and definitely try to apply for that. And so in about January, we received this $50,000 grant. And so with the $50,000, we got to create this new space. And so we got to deconstruct and reconstruct, and we can offer some really cool resources for students. We do have a fully stocked pantry. We also have a hygiene room where it's just floor to ceiling stocked with feminine products, shampoo, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, any bedding material that you might need, that is in there for you. And then the front room is the mindfulness room, and it's anything from de-stressing activities like puzzles and games. This space is really just open for any student. If you just need an extra box of cereal one week, or you need an extra bar of soap, I will have hours available where this is just open that you can come in and utilize this space. Obviously the mindfulness room is a little different. It'll pretty much be open every day. But if you are in need of something more specific, like you do have a housing insecurity, or you do have a food insecurity, and you would like some more additional resources, you can set up a meeting with me one-on-one, and I can help you get access to on-campus and off-campus resources.
Seems like this warm weather is finally around to stay, guys.
I wonder how long it'll stay.
Well, that's a great question, Jack. Let's take a look at the weather for this week.
So we're going to be coming into May, and you know how they say April showers bring May flowers? Well, this year we got the beginning of the May with a lot of showers. And in the morning it's going to be nice, warm, but all these nights are going to be pretty cool, as you'll see towards the end of the week. And this warm weather means finals are here. So you should be studying. And today the high is going to be up to 77 and the low of 62 later tonight. The averages around this time of year is 69 degrees for the high and 49 for the low. And taking a look at these record temperatures, last week we had the record temperatures both set in 2022 and 2021. Well, this week we're going to have to throw it all the way back to the 1900s with a record of 88 degrees in 1901, and 6 years later they had a cool front come in and they had a record temperature low of 29. So looking at today, we're going to have temperatures around that low 70s, maybe high 60s, but it's going to be sunny with a cool little wind coming in from 5 to 10 miles an hour from the north-northeast. And then later tonight, we're going to get some clouds coming in that we're going to see are going to produce some rain later in the week, with the wind staying around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And on Thursday, that's that chance of rain we were talking about. But we're going to have temperatures high in the 70s, maybe up to 80s if we get lucky. And that wind is going to be swirling around all the way down to the south now at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And then Friday evening, or Friday morning, we're going to have 75 degrees. And that later that evening, because of that rain, it's going to start to cool down to the low mid-50s. And if you take a look at the wind throughout the week, you'll see that it's swirling around from north, east, south, and then on Saturday we're going to come out to the west at 10 to 15 miles an hour with quite a few storms, but the temperature's staying in that mid to low 70s. And for our 7-day forecast, we're going to see what we were talking about with high temperatures pretty consistently in the 70s, and then later in the nights, most nights are going to be around 50s, so you might need a rain jacket, might need a little bit of a coat, but in the morning you're going to wake up and you're going to want to keep that t-shirt on. And with finals coming around, this is our final QUTV show, and this is the group that's produced it all for you all this year, and they've done all a great job. So that's basically our weather for the week, and with finals coming around, what do you guys plan on doing in the evenings?
Oh, you know, I mean, my finals aren't too stressful this time around, so, you know, I'm just going to try to take it easy and just keep the stress levels to a minimum.
Yeah, me too. I'm just going to hopefully enjoy the cool weather while it lasts at night, so yeah, get some good sleep before you start burning up in the summer. Yep, thanks for the weather update, Jake. See who won the Hawk Awards and hear a Hawk athlete share his experience on the field. All that coming up next.
Hi, I'm Sarah Phillips, and I'll help you through the service learning process at QU. Through community service and academic studies, the service learning program will help define you as an individual. You'll learn life skills as you serve in the community and help others. Students will be notified of how many hours they need, but they range from 10 to 30 hours done over your time at QU. Students can serve at any of our around 40 approved community locations and can serve in your hometowns if approved through the Quest Center. Service learning hours are submitted through a tracking application with details and reflections. Once logged, I review and approve each submission. Specific opportunities will be emailed to you to sign up for. However, you have the option to schedule your own hours. Reflecting on your service is important because it is more than just serving and spending time helping the community. We really want students to reflect on their time and learn from their experience. Day of Service celebrates our Franciscan heritage. It is a day our campus allows us to cancel classes and close offices so everyone can participate. Annually, over 700 students and campus community members serve the Quincy area on this day. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Sarah Phillips, or stop by my office in the Quest Center under Burner Library. Thank you for taking time today to learn about the service learning program at Quincy University.
The spring semester is almost coming to an end for both academics and the many different sports teams we've had competing throughout the last couple of months.
That's right. These past couple of weeks, we've had students trying to secure that final grade, while we had the coaches trying to secure that final win in the season. Kaylin Lowry has more for us with sports today.
It has most definitely been crunch time here on campus. Let's see if they either hunker down or if they decided to just let up a little bit and take the rest of the season easy. Hello and welcome to QUTV Sports Today. I'm Kaylin Lowry. Now, before we dig down deep into QUTV Sports, let's go ahead and give an update on Quincy's spring sports that has either finished their season this past week or who has a couple more games to finish out the season. Now, men's volleyball ended their season with a 5-19 record, going 1-15 in the conference. They also ended their season with the 18-game losing streak. The athletic department has announced the promotion of the new men's volleyball coach. Devin Walker will be the new head coach for the Hawks in the 2025 spring season. Quincy baseball has 4 more games left in the regular season, a 4-game series against the University of Illinois Springfield with a doubleheader Friday, May 3rd. Softball ended their season with a 15-35 record, 4-22 in the conference. Men's golf and women's golf has finished their season. The men's at the GLVC conference tournament finishing in 10th place out of 12, and the women finished 5th in the GLVC conference tournament. Men's and women's lacrosse finished their seasons both without a positive record. The men's team finished 5-9, and the women's finished 8-11, losing their final game in the GLVC semifinals against Maryville University. And now that most of our athletics has finished out their seasons, Quincy University honored their student athletes and others at annual awards this past week. Now let me go ahead and take you back to this past week's special event.
The 30th annual Mart Heinen Awards took place on April 24th in Pepsi Arena to give honor to some elite faculty and athletes here at QU.
I think the Hawk Awards are great. They give athletes an opportunity to get awarded in front of not only their teammates, but just fellow athletes at the school. And just it's like a culmination of everybody's hard work.
President Brian McGee started the night off with the first award, the Faculty Excellence Award, presented to Doug Johnson. Next up was the Men's and Women's Comeback Player of the Year Award, with the awards accepted by Emily Leal of Women's Lacrosse and Mason Morano of Men's Lacrosse. Maddie Barton of Women's Wrestling took home the Chuck Brady Award for the women, with David Broughton of QU's Baseball for the men. The St. Clair Award was presented to Ansley Reynolds of Women's Lacrosse, and John Casey of Men's Soccer was presented the St. Francis Award. The Brother Cleet Van Akron Award was presented to 2 members of the Quincy University Golf Club, Natalie Deerwester and Ryan Cruzy. The Volunteer of the Year Award was split and presented to Gary Winking and Denny Sinnock. Next up was the Coaches of the Year Award, with Brian Christensen, coach for men's and women's swimming, and Mark Jones, head coach for the women's volleyball team. And last but not least, 2 athletes had the honor to be presented with the Quincy Career Achievement Award. Danielle Robinson, a powerhouse on the women's lacrosse team, and Rajay Aline, who some around campus call the men's volleyball Superman. All these athletes and faculty honored were met with applause that could have been heard from the banks of the Mississippi. Kaylin Lowry, QUTV News, Quincy.
From Friday Night Lights to Saturday Night Lights, a QU football star has big hopes for what is next in his journey. QUTV's Ryan Capps was able to sit down and interview this star.
I'm here sitting down with a guy who needs little to no introduction, but I'll give you one anyways. It's Peyton Plunkett. He's played his last 2 years here of his college career at Quincy. He grew up around the town, so I got to sit down with him and ask him a couple questions here. So, you just recently had a pro day. Come on, give me a little experiences about that. What was it like, and just what the experience was like?
Definitely a cool experience. Definitely a first experience, I would say. I got to go up to Miami, Florida, and go and do that pro day, kind of how they do it at like the NFL Combine. It's kind of the same test, the 40, the broad, the vertical jump, and all that stuff. And there were scouts kind of sitting there from multiple teams, just watching me perform, go out there and compete. So that's kind of how I viewed it, as a competition, right? And I just went out there and did the best I could.
Well, from what I've known you, you're definitely a competitor out on the field, so I'm sure you killed out there. We'll make sure to keep in touch with that, see how that goes down the future. But looking back in this past 2 years at Quincy here, what has been a game or a moment that's really just stuck out to you and that's something that you'll never forget?
Game or a moment? First game, senior year, Shadron State. They're right there on the end zone. Fumbled the ball. I got the opportunity to grab it, and I guess I looked pretty fast because we ended up getting the touchdown into the deal. So it was big for me, and it was big for the team at the time for the comeback we were trying to make in that first game. So that definitely number one experience.
Now, if memory serves me right here, you actually flipped into the end zone and got a little chewing out there from pass on the sideline. Yeah. But now we'll broaden the horizon, as you can say here, and take it all the way back to high school. Throughout the beginning of your college career, from high school to now, what's something that's really stuck out to you?
I'd say through high school to college, I would say like football, and like what makes football so special to me is the people you're around and the people you get to play with. And I think like whether making plays and all that stuff, the people I play with, I think at the end of the day is why I do it. I was about to say, I just make good relationships with those guys, and to see them grow, and then to be with me as I grow, and college goes into it, and the high school guys keep up with me as college goes, and the college guys keep up with you as you transfer. It's just a big brotherhood. It's just a big relationship that just keeps going on and on and on, and I think that's why I've been playing it so long, playing it. So.
Yeah, that's going to kind of piggyback me into the next question here. I don't know if you kind of already answered it there, but it's what's kept you going in football? I mean, you played throughout your 4 years of high school. Now you've played until you ran out of eligibility in college. Some guys didn't really stick that out, but you did. So what really kept you going and to just continue your football career?
Like you said, I was about to say the people I played with, made it easy, always to come back and provide for the team, and they provided great things for me in life. So it was always nice to have that connection with them, just to play for my family, and always just, I know they get excited watching me play ball, so it's always nice to have them there on the sidelines. Other than family and relationships, I'd kind of say those are the two. Besides, I just love playing the sport. As I say, I love going out there and just doing my best, giving my all. It's something I'm pretty all right at. So.
Yeah, it's definitely been a joy to see you play in person here, and then the stories back when you were in the CCC back then, and hearing those stories. But what's been your driving factor? What's really, just even outside of football, really, what keeps you motivated to just push and be the best person that you can be?
I think for me, always the biggest thing was like, you're always going to have people that say you can't. And I think that's always been my big push is I've had those experiences, right? And to take that and view it as like a log, put it in a fire, and just keep pushing off that motivation. View it as motivation. Don't let it take you down, right? People that say you can't, just that's your motivation to continue to keep driving, continue to keep moving forward, continue to prove people wrong. I guess that's kind of been my drive.
So we'll kind of end off with this one here. Moving away from the football side of things, we'll leave that in a kind of mysterious way. That's the future is untold there. If football doesn't work out for you, what's going to be the future of Peyton Plunkett?
I plan to do strength training for a college program. It is my biggest one, and try and get to the highest level I can in that aspect. I just want to be not so much a strength trainer, but just continue that connection with players, right? Because I know as a strength trainer, how much time you spend with the players is more than the coaches ever will, right? Because strength training, that's a whole year deal. So I just want to be able to help grow, guys into better men, and then lift on the side. So,
yeah. So I try to get you away from football a little bit there, but you're still just creeping back into it.
It's hard.
So I think that's going to wrap things up. It was great to sit down with you.
Yeah,
it was always a pleasure to talk to you, but I think that'll do it. So I've been Ryan Capps with QUTV, and everyone have a great day.
It was fun to watch Peyton Plunkett play, let alone play with him here at Quincy, and it will be exciting to see how far he could take it in his career. Now, to reel it back a little bit, the women's golf team finishing, 5th in the conference? I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that I think it's actually their best finish in program history in the conference. That's great. But yeah, they were due. They saw improvement from each and every tournament. So it's not surprising that they did that well.
That's great. That's great. Well overdue for sure. Up next, we'll show where all the magic happens for athletics.
Meet Ray, a graduate from Quincy University's Master of Science in Education program. He was able to work in his field while earning his degree.
To know that you could hold a job teaching and still work towards your master's at the same time. So it's a very big blessing, and I think a lot of people could take advantage of it.
Quincy University's Master of Science in Education program features faculty who are active in their fields and smart classrooms that enhance the learning experience.
The teachers and faculty are there for you. As long as you put the same amount of effort that they're putting in, it'll be a very nice and easy ride.
At Quincy University, our Franciscan values guide our approach to education. Our caring and compassionate environment fosters growth and development to students who are able to reach their full potential. Schedule your personal visit today at Quincy University, where your success is by design. Let us design a success plan for you.
Discover the opportunity to pursue your degree with Quincy University's Illinois Tuition Promise program. If you're eligible, you'll receive 100% coverage of tuition and books, making college affordable. We'll design a success plan just for you.
Recording.
When talking to alumni of QU, there's one thing that almost always comes up in conversation: the Hawks Nest Bar. QUTV's Jake Vitale tells us more.
Quincy University used to have a bar on campus, and it was a very popular spot for all at QU. When talking to an alumni about QU, the question of, is the bar still open, is a common occurrence. The bar was a spot for students of legal drinking age to drink without having to travel too far from their dorms. The Hawks Nest closed due to the lack of bartenders available in the area.
I think it's really interesting that Quincy used to have a bar. I've never seen that anywhere else I've been.
The Hawks Nest was an on-campus bar that was a popular spot for students, staff, faculty members alike. Students would come in, they would do their homework, play some darts, or grab a drink with their professors. The conflict of interest of having QU students bartending for their peers has been a large part of why the bar has not reopened since its closing. It was the first bar on campus in the state of Illinois. Quincy, a city with a bar per every 600 people, why shouldn't the university in town also have one for the students to call their own? Jake Vitale, QUTV News, Quincy.
Seems like a great place to take a study break after this finals week.
Yeah, it sure does. I would love to go in there and play some darts with all my teammates and not have to leave campus, or maybe catch one of our professors in there grabbing a drink after they have to grade all these finals.
Yeah, I've only been down there once, freshman orientation, when we did some karaoke down there. That was a good old time.
Yeah, every time my offensive line group goes ahead and has a meeting, that's always down there. And every time I sit at a different table and I write my name in that, and every single one of those tables. So if you go down there, you're going to find Kaylin Lowry somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see it in the near future.
Hope so.
For more stories, be sure to check us out on social media and qmedia.net. Have a great day.